This is Robert Demers for Conman here at the Fantasia International Film Festival, and I'm here with Josh C. Waller, the director of Raze, and the star of Raze, Zoë Bell. How are you doing today?
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
What?
That
Sorry. Didn't quite work. Nice try.
I should have planned
We're
that
great.
better.
How are you both enjoying your time here in Montreal?
Well,
We haven't had much.
we flew in this morning at 7 a.m.
Yeah, and we had interviews at 10. And then we've been doing interviews for the last couple of hours too. So the inside of this room is amazing.
Yeah, this room, these walls
We
are
love you,
just,
Montreal.
mwah.
And the hallway?
Oh, hallway
Stunning.
was like,
Stunning.
remember it?
Oh,
Amazing.
colors.
I've heard wonderful things about Montreal, and now I know.
Yeah.
Why?
Always. No, it's a shame. I would love to have more time, and I imagine you would too, but
Yeah.
neither of us are going to be able to stay long. And today is obviously, we have responsibilities to the festival more than to Montreal, and our movie, I guess.
To each other.
Ooh. This is going to happen all day long.
Sorry.
Can you tell our audience a little bit about Raze?
Yeah, Raze is just a gritty action film with hints of horror, but more action. It's about an underground society that abducts 50 women every 5 years. They've been doing it since ancient Greece. And they abduct these women and put them in concrete bunkers underground and force them to fight each other to the death in hand-to-hand combat. And the reason why these women are willing to go to those lengths is because they're doing it to protect the persons that they love the most in the world. So, these women are fighting for their husband, their child, their sister, their mother, their brother, whomever. So it's a
Story of those women going through that
it's
hideous situation.
It's a horrible situation, but we came up with it. So we got it. We kind of love it.
We kind of love it.
When you began production, what was your approach in directing the film?
Start in the morning.
Yeah. Get up, hopefully make it on time. No. My approach to directing it was the same as I approach anything I direct. It's just kind of one day at a time, and if production-wise, it's one day at a time. The only thing that changes with any production is more time, more money, but the process is always going to be the same. You're always going to have to hire the same crew, the same, all of that. In terms of like the creative aspects of it, it was just a matter of me connecting with something that was exciting to me, a story that could
Like
be
watching
exciting
women
to tell
kill each other.
visually. Right. Well, to be honest, like I don't know initially that I would have done it had I not called Zoe in if she wasn't a part of it.
No.
Like I really wanted for us to be able to do something together because we'd been friends for so long, and I also felt that nothing against like the other roles that she's played. Like I knew that she was capable of something massive emotionally, and I felt like it was a role that she could just easily fill, and that we could do something interesting with it together. So that was the initial exciting thing to me.
And then he realized I was crap,
And
and I
then
was a
she
real
was
dick,
like,
and it was
"What a
not
bitch."
exciting at all. So then I had to find something else to
Yeah,
get excited
yeah.
about.
So I started casting other people, and I'm like, oh, excited about them, and then they'd be a bitch, and then I have to find
Thank
someone
God
else.
Tracy's
It was
here.
an ongoing
Oh,
process.
bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I just think all of them suck.
Just a bunch of bitches.
But I'm excited about some other stuff, like those hallways,
Those hallways.
these walls.
Next, Raze 2, we're shooting
Yeah.
in that hallway.
Yeah.
This is the arena.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
In the film, your character is fighting for the life of her daughter. What did you do to try to convey that type of desperation?
I don't know that I thought about it so much as trying to convey it. It was just a matter of sort of, I mean, I did a lot of preparation. I did a lot of like figuring out who Sabrina is and where she, how she viewed the world. And so that once you go into sort of being Sabrina, now I'm reacting to what's happening around me. So, you know, and my daughter in the movie is played by Kenny Gage, who's one of our producing partners. It's his daughter, so that actually took a little bit for me to make her my daughter, because I know her as Kenny's daughter, you know. That was one of the moments when I was like, I'm going to have to bring in some form of technique right now and have that. But once I'd slotted into being Sabrina, then I feel like once you've got a character clear enough, you get kind of a click, like, oh, I get her, you know. And then being her is then, you know, Josh did an amazing job because we had to shoot everything kind of out of order. We did everything in our cells and back to back to back to back. So like we were jumping through the movie and then going back to the beginning and going to the middle, and, you know. So he and I had conversations about when I'd said to him, I'd just be like, look, I'm going to really need your help on reminding me whereabouts Sabrina is in her journey at any given time, because I've got it all mapped out and I know how to get there. I just need to be told where I am exactly, you know. So a lot of it was massive amounts of preparation, because we knew the shoot was going to be crazy times.
This is your first film directing a feature-length film. Has it been more difficult to your short film past work?
Raze was a bit more difficult solely because the sheer size of what we were trying to accomplish, and because like it kind of happened relatively quickly, and it was a bit different. But it was also that like I had been, you know, prepping a few other features for like quite a while, for several years, and so I was kind of like, I felt just personally that I was kind of primed and ready to get into to just do it. But Raze just kind of like happened. So,
and I've worked on loads of features, and I can tell you, Raze was like, it was a heavy shoot.
Yeah, it was big, and you know, we were asking a lot of everybody, everyone, like the cast, the crew, just everybody, ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, to where at the end, like everyone was just exhausted, like just beat, tired, and snapping at each other. But we made it into this room. No kidding. I was gonna bring it back the third time. But you know, I say it all the time. Like I don't feel a huge difference between shooting a feature film and a short film. It's the same process.
It's just more of it.
Yeah, the days are the same. It's the exact same process. You just more.
So hopefully more planning and more preparation, because you're just planning and prepping for more.
Yeah.
4 more. Let's do four more Razes. What?
Yeah.
You've had a long career as a stunt performer. What do you do to prepare yourself into doing one of the more extensive stunts?
You mean like preparing myself physically, kind of?
Yeah.
Such a poor example of this, but you know, on the bigger budget movies, they have, in their pre-production budget, they'll have rehearsal time, which is like one of my favorites. I love being paid to rehearse. It's like my favorite luxurious moment in work life, where you're just sort of like being paid to play and create and come up with stuff and get fit and get better at stuff, and you're being paid. I love that. However, we didn't have a pre-production budget. We didn't even have a production budget, really, but
we didn't have anything.
We just didn't have a budget. So for me, if it's specific to the movie, if it's a skill set that I don't have, it's about going and finding out, getting as good as I can before we start shooting. In terms of general fit, the idea is for someone like me is that I stay in general fitness. There's a word missing from that sentence. In a good state of general fitness. What am I trying to say? Fit across the board?
She's in a constant state of like peak fitness, pretty much throughout. But
constant state of peak.
But that's pretty true. But that's also like, you know, she's a little bit blessed in that way, where she's. But I also think that's part of like your gymnastics background, and that
totally.
Like, your body over the years is just, it's accustomed to being in a certain shape. So if you have to do any kind of film, it's like fine tuning a little bit ahead of time. Oh, let me cut this food out, or let me do a little bit of this.
Yeah, or let me do more boxing rather than surfing.
Yeah.
And I think also, by nature, I'm an active person. So even just going about my day, I probably burn more than most people do, because I like jump over things, and
because she sprints to get a
because
coffee
I run
in the morning
everywhere.
Yeah.
But no, just by nature of being athletic, by nature is how I sort of communicate with the world. I think that's part of it too. And
On camera, water down the front.
But yeah, so that's that. But you know, people are born and created in certain ways that they're better tuned and apt to do certain things. Like I was never going to be an accountant, but my body was like, you know what you could do? Be physical for a living.
That's what my body. Damn it.
When it you're like,
That's what my body. Yeah, come on.
and you spilt water on yourself too.
That's what.
I was always going to be coordinated. Sorry.
What was your approach when directing the fight choreography in the film?
Just close your eyes and hope for the best.
Yeah. No whammy, no whammy, no whammy, no whammy. Again, it was kind of the same. Like I like action. I love fight sequences and stuff. And like I knew what I wanted. We just kind of, just like you take your days with fights, you just take it kind of by the numbers. You just break up the fight into like its little teeny pieces, knowing that at the end of the day, you're going to piece all those pieces together and you're going to have a full fight. So it was never us like trying to like rush through it. Even though we didn't have a lot of time and we didn't have a lot of money, we weren't rushing through the actual fights themselves, because that's when people get hurt. So it was just kind of like, you know, our little checklist. Okay, we got that shot. Okay, we got that shot. Okay, we got that reaction. We got that punch. We got that hit. You know, and Zoe always being there, and like sometimes I'd be in the arena and she'd be on monitor, or like she'd be in the arena and I'd be on monitor, or Kenny, one of our producing partners, would be on monitor.
And it was always keeping an eye on both, making sure the hits were selling, because otherwise you can't use it, and we didn't have time to reshoot a bunch of times.
And the emotional life.
And then the emotional life. So those two things were what was most important, and often you'd be in charge of the emotional stuff. I mean, you obviously had
I'm in
an
charge
opinion.
of emotions.
Yeah.
Not my own,
but
others.
He has no control over his own.
I have
whatsoever.
no control. Hallway?
Do you know what?
No, I'm just going to throw
Hallway.
it.
Hallway.
Need I say more?
That's it. Hallway.
Yeah.
Out. But yeah, so that's I think it was like there was always one person keeping an eye on one or two of those things, both of those things, and those two things together is what kept our fights being the type of fights that they are.
Yeah.
Hallway.
Which is gnarly.
Yeah. No.
Is it more physically demanding being a female stunt performer when you have to suit a certain look and having to wear less padding than male stunt performers?
I was going to make some bad joke when you were like, was it more physically demanding? I'm like, yes, if you've got boobs, it's really hard to wang them around. But no, you know, you end up doing action sort of. The only thing you hit on there that struck a chord for me is the less padding. That's always been like any stunt woman you talk to has always got some story. Like, and mine one time was being me and another guy. We were both doubling, and it was a stair fall. So he went down first, and he was in like jeans and a bomber jacket and a shirt, and then I had to go down, and I was like literally in a negligee, you know, like a nightie, and it was all exposed wood, and it was like this narrow, and I was just looking at it going, that's just going to be horrible. Like it doesn't matter how talented you are. That's just going to hurt like a mofo when you've got exposed skin. Like I was, and he walked out and he was like, "You ready?" And I was like, "Fuck off." He had like elbows, knees, back pad, the whole lot. And I just looked at him and I was like, "That is."
There wasn't a part of him that, like, as a
he was
gentleman
totally
was
joking.
Like,
no, he was like, "How are you doing?" "Oh, no pads." "Oh, what do you know?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's because I'm naked."
Yeah.
I was like, "Do you want mine?" I was
so
like, "No."
did it hurt?
Yes. A lot. You know, the biggest part that hurt was though when I hit the ground, and then she was meant to be unconscious, and he dragged me, or some character dragged me, and I was dragged along the ground, and I ended up getting like sand burns from the concrete. I was like, man, I made it all the way down the stairs, and it hurt, but I wasn't bleeding or anything. And then the simple drag, and I was like, ow, 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 my skin.
Ow.
Yeah. Ow. Yeah.
Well, you have several films coming up in the near future. Is there any projects you're particularly looking forward to?
Are you talking about ones that I'm directing, or ones that I'm producing, or just in
general?
Projects in general. Yeah, I shot a project that was kind of like my baby that I've been working on for several years with David Morse and Corey Monteith and Kieran Hines, and that's called Mechanic. That's a cop drama that may or may not be coming out in a major Canadian festival within the next couple months, but it's not formally announced yet. And so I'm excited for that for people to see that. I'm a little nervous because I spent so much time with it. But the project that we're shooting right now, Cooties, which is a horror comedy with Elijah Wood and Rainn Wilson, and we're pretty excited about that one. It's today is actually the only day that I'm missing from the entire production shoot. So that's why, I was on set yesterday, flew out, missing the day. I'm getting constant texts, and the shoot is going incredibly well. It's very funny, and I think that's going to be one that people really gravitate towards. Everyone wants to see little rabid children.
Oh, I've been wanting to see that for years. Yeah.
Just seeing them get all
So
all nar. Gnarly.
Nar.
Cooties is fun.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us, and I hope you both enjoy the rest of your time here at the festival and your screenings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Last words, hallway.
Hallway.
These walls I'll never forget this one in particular.
Funny,
Not
I was
so
just-
much this
I was
one or
thinking
that
this one.
This really?
This one, definitely, yeah.
We'll always have.
The hallway.
Thank you.
Thank you.